All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans. This is taken at the 3. First and 10, Brissett finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. It's a gain of 7, and it'll make it a second down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
They'll run with the former Ole Miss Rebel, Jordan Wilkins. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. An early test, 2 plays in. This is 3rd and 2. Out of the gun, Brissett. Going for Hilton, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Andre Howe. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll run it here. This is D'Onta Foreman. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. That one 28 yards on the ground.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to. But they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. Right back to him on 1st down. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
Here's Foreman. And he fights his way into the end zone for a Texans touchdown. A great effort there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Texans have taken the early lead. The extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But I believe the Colts were able to fall on this when they were, and so possession will remain with Indy.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a second and very long.
Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Flex round!
From the shotgun, it's Brissett, and his throw is incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Here we go! Brand 38! Brand 38!
It's third and long for Brissett. Man open right side, it's Rodgers. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. It'll be a gain of 17, but even with that, they'll be well short here for 4th down. Out is Rigoberto Sanchez on 4th down to punt this thing. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Oh, boy, he fielded it right on the goal line. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Texans are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And coming up on their second drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they have the football back. Chance to really seize early momentum.
Feels to me like they had a really excellent week of practice and it all came together. But I'll bet you it got galvanized in the locker room in pregame. Somehow I think the head coach, his oratorical skills were on point.
A run by Foreman to start the drive. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On 2nd down, here's Goff. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just look in the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Off play action. Here's Goff. And that's going to be incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
And the penalty helps, but not a whole lot. It's still 3rd and long. They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff sliding out of the pocket. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and press your advantage.
The Texans send the punter out as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Now the Colts offense gets ready to head back on the field. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
Good starting field position for the Colts as they have it 1st and 10. Nyheim Hines, his first carry. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Flex round!
Now Brissett. Ebron caught left side. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Ohio! Ohio!
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Zach Cunningham in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long. Why are you calling play action?
Yeah, because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking. But to me, it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play-action sack. And the Texans set to come onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. The drive starts with Foreman on the ground. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Man open, that's Jaleel Scott. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball in the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
They'll come up now with a clock showing 3 seconds to go here in the 1st. On 2nd and 10, Goff. And this will complete to Will Fuller. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll run with Foreman. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Tackle made by Zaire Franklin.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
A carry for Foreman. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
So after the penalty, now they need just a yard on 2nd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give them a new set of downs.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
Goff now to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
That's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Out of the gun, Goff. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 25. Oh, and now he bowls him over.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10.
Let's go! Grand 38! Grand 38!
Oh, the carry is Wilkins. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. J.J. Watt, the one that gets him down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. Here's Brissett. Over the middle here, it's Hilton. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It's
nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Texans say they have it. They do.
What part do they went empty set there? No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
17! 17! 17!
Following the fumble recovery, Goff. He can't bring him down.
The weight room does work.
That's good for a Texan 1st down, a 12-yard pickup. Now Foreman. He's to the 10. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A great play there. With 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Texans will add on to their lead. The point after is good. And that'll make the score 14-zip. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Throwing again, Brissett on 2nd and 10. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. A 14-yard gain for Indianapolis, and also move the sticks. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Ohio!
Brissett on 1st down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. He already had the 1 fumble loss, so now 2 fumbles lost here in this first half.
Not setting the pace. It. Otherwise, they may have to start thinking about maybe someone different at that position.
On the toss, here's Foreman. He's able to work free for about 6 down to the 18.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now they try the right side here. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Goff now looks to throw. Flush to his right. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's going to have just a couple here with a marker on the field as well. So they will tread backward on the holding penalty.
And I know that they're going to get coached up and they'll get yelled out a little bit, but let's face it, it is hard not to do at the speed and pace that they play.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Two minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. throw. Gone. Open space inside the 10. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Will Fuller, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Texans will extend their lead. Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. Extra point right down the middle. And that makes the score 21-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And the Colts getting ready to go. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
And with the play clock at 3, we'll get a signal and a timeout on the whistle. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
Here we go.
A first down throw for Brissett. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Let's go. White 90. White 90.
On second down, Brissett again. And a hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on first and second down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
The Colts on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 10.
Come on, let's go. White 90. White 90.
From the gun, here's Brissett. And he connects with Ebron. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards on the play.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. A gain of 3, second down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. A second down throw for Brissett. And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. Zach Cunningham in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. And it's incomplete. Both players had a shot at that one. Neither can get it, and it brings up 4th down. And he's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's 2nd down. Again from the 20 after the incompletion. Here's 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. 3rd quarter, here we go. So we've come upon halftime here in Houston, and it's the home team, the Texans, leading this one. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the 3rd quarter. This fielded at the 2. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
Super 66.
Again, it's Foreman. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes, if you got success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. And he's going to have the hook up to Scott. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be met at about the 43. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Here we go, fellas. Here we go. Al, here we go.
They run again with Foreman. That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block would be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. From the gun, here's Goff. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target. 3rd down here.
Well, sometimes you just have to take things into your own hands, don't you? I mean, the offense is really struggling in this game. They're the ones keeping things going. They have to continue to play at that level.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Goff. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up and is just trying to play through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy.
Here's the Colts now as they get ready for their first possession on offense of the 2nd half. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone.
A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line.
I'm not sure, Brandon, we've seen a sloppier played game this year for a team on offense. Turn it over 4 times and expect to win? No chance whatsoever. And look, I have no idea what the ratio is about turnover 4 times and how that correlates to winning or losing. But I'll guarantee you, it's not very good.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now a handoff looking right. And he's going to get forward for about 5, but that may be coming back. What say you, Mr. Referee? So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Now they try the right side here. And he's able to carve out about 6 there, down to the 37.
You know how we get focused at end of the half and into the game situations about how much time's on the board and, you know, what you need to do? Sometimes you don't even have to worry about that. That's just smart football. You know, that kind of a lead, staying in bounds, it burns clock, even in a situation that we're not really focused on it.
And they'll go on the ground. And a solid run down inside the 30. Call it an 8-yard pickup, and it'll be 3rd down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Now a handoff looking right. And he'll fall forward to the 29-yard line. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stopped them for almost no gain.
So a good snap, good hold, and right down the middle.
Never in doubt. Just the way you used to hit them, partner.
You mean like kicking the ball?
Exactly.
Well, that was in high school.
Doesn't matter. I don't care what level. You hit them, they go through.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. And last time, 1-play interceptions. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling, because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action.
And it's a fumble. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
it is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Hines. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Boy, and now they can't even get a play off. He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
And the delay of game penalty makes this much more difficult. 3rd and 8.
Here we go!
From the shotgun, it's Brissett. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his second of the game. Instead, 4th down. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. But you just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is taken around the 12. An 8-yard return there after a punt of 47. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Going up top. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And they do finally get him, but he takes it to the 25. A huge play there for Houston. 55 yards. So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be stopped up at the line of scrimmage with a flag down. Let's check on the call. So that one will be accepted. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. They go play action here on 1st down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
Play action. It's gone. And this one is incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. The Texans on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and a mile. They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff. He's going to air one out. He dropped it. Couldn't hang on in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. It'll be spotted on the right hash. A 52-yard attempt. And this one is right down Broadway. And the lead increases even further. It's 27-0 now. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
And now Indianapolis set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They run again with Wilkins, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Brandon, that play typifies what we've seen from the offense all day long. They've had no success getting things going. I think for the offensive coordinator, he's got to go to that side of the play sheet that says try something different, try some specials, something they haven't seen all day to try and get this.
The Colts on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. Here it's 3rd and 3.
Watch 88, watch 88. Let's go. What?
Throwing. Brissett. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
Let's go. Brad 30.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And this is incomplete. The Colts unable to convert here on 4th down. And the Texans take over an excellent field position. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe... You know, you've taught me this before. Maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care of them, protect them, take care of the ball, move it downfield, run the clock down. You don't want your defense to have to go on the field again the rest of the game. Reward them.
Well, they know how to protect the pass, but sometimes cornerbacks, they can also stop the run, can't they?
Is that what we call a complete corner? Yeah, because we're so used to these guys just being defenders in the pass game. How about the guys who can come up and make the tackles? That's what we just saw there for no gain, too.
And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. A pickup of 11 and a Texans 1st down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And not much to speak of there. Maybe a yard down to the 20.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Now they try the right side here. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to make it 3rd down and 10. Gone. And incomplete here on third down. He was waving his arms, wanted the football, but he dropped it. And that reminds me of a story you told me from your days at Tennessee. We don't need to mention the other guy's name, but when he dropped an open pass that you blew coverage on, what did you say to him?
Yeah, it's really not right since I blew coverage, but since he dropped the pass, I said, well, maybe next time he'll just walk it out here and hand it to you. Would that be easier? He wasn't real thrilled with that.
That's cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive. Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay.
Feet up, what you think of? Oh, I hated knowing that my thoughts would turn to dream, cause I never knew I'd get my chance to link up. Oh, I tell you all of this unusual to me. Swear I came from the bottom, flappers living, walking dead on. Put your favorite rapper's name up on the headstone. Big for the cheese and you're dead wrong. Propaganda set the standards in the tear down.
Throw it back, yeah, I'm born to it's talking, it's hustling me where I'm at. I'm living how I want now. No reason to look out, it's clear to see. All eyes on me, 400 degrees. Who am I? Ruthless, easy, does it. In public, hated to love it. The underdogs with liquor swabs. It was written in my diary to start a war. I'm feeling infamous, immortal with my technique. A revolutionary shining with diamond teeth. Young Don Cartagena, excuse my demeanor. Just the glamour life, you still not a player. You ain't half as nice. I'm born again, life after death. I made the sacrifice, I'm super duper fly. Used to keep them hypnotized. I said my name is Juice, America's most. Ain't no half stepping. See you at the crossroads.
Money over on my headstone. Here lies them getting paid for. Never take a loss on my headstone. Only take a when I'm dead. I be gang 3 times on my headstone. Been from the cradle to the grave. Now your favorite rapper name on the headstone. Too late, he already lived. It was written in the children's story. Their life's up, so what you want? Every day I struggle with it. Only God could tell me slipping. I'm infinitely big through the genesis. Dead presidents, drop a gem on them. On earth, these the last days. Throw your get money, quiet storm. Have the dogs for the cream renegade. For the money, only green is the green is the. I'm a player on the late night till. See the prototype. Fingertips, reservoir dog. To the skull, ignorant. Can I live? Still film it, kiss to death, rep protect your neck. Three boys in the Cadillac, grave digger, kiss to death, rep protect your neck. Shame on the three boys in the Cadillac, grave digger. Money over my headstone. Here lies them getting paid for. Never take a loss on my headstone. Only take a when I'm dead. I be gang 3 times on my headstone. Been from the cradle to the grave. Now your favorite rapper name on the headstone. Too late, he already dead. Right now I'm on the edge, so don't push me. Troublesome to 9 to 6. You a shook one, Reeves and all the ledge. I'm your. What's that? I smell. Let me count my. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, run. Hi, my name is Dirk Cobain. Like a. Here I go to the next episode. Ain't no damn this explosive Beast Coast. The mother ride or die for my strictly for my survival of the fittest. That's the sound of the police. I'm indeed cover earth, skirt, lean back. Give me one more chance. They say Jesus walks and the devil wear Prada, but I'm so deaf. God can't tell me nothing. Right there's on my death certificate. I gave you power. 21 questions like a warning. Watch them flashing like paparazzi. 2 words. Get money. Tonight's the night. Guess who's back on my block? Rather unique. Bucktown. This on that quiet storm. T-O-N-Y. Top of New York. Where the pitch fall.
Somebody call for the queen.
I never did anybody, but I got something to do with it. I got the streets on my back, carry it like a. I told him the hunter, like he trying to move it up. It was like them in the morning, skipping school, that's a truancy about it. I made me some rest in the morning, I had me up by the morning, I had me some breaks by the morning, I had a sister by the morning, I got on the moon on the morning, the rest of the morning, I had a in my shoulder, you got a video, you got this bitch, Pacific ice from an ocean, ready for war like I'm Russian, ladies should never look lucky, my diamonds they tussling, my neck and my belly, they calling for me and they, you want me like me and I look, yeah, Rex on her, yeah, B-Rex better calm down, yeah, if you go around, come around, yeah, whole squad, yeah, squad go, yeah, make some orange gel on my toes, yeah, Farrakhan glass for the chosen, yeah, you can go and get mad, let me in the bed with 2 Dante and who's you, my shawty pulling up with a real bad, you too, dripping my sweat.